Most people believe that eating enough fiber is essential because it eliminates waste from the GI tract. That's not actually true. Hi everybody, my name is Selena from Wholeness Campaign. I make videos on gut health, detoxification, and non-toxic living for those of you who are trying to heal from chronic illness naturally with a gut-first approach. So if that sounds like you, please consider subscribing to my channel. I make new videos like this every week. In this video, I'm going to answer the big question of, is fiber necessary? Especially, is it necessary for a healthy gut microbiome? In this video, I'm going to answer the question of, is fiber necessary for a healthy gut microbiome? And I'm going to kind of debunk this popular myth that high fiber diets are what make somebody healthy, are what support healthy digestion. I will touch a little bit on constipation because I think it's relevant to this conversation. Basically, I'm going to share exactly what you should do instead of eating fiber if you've believed that fiber was the answer to your problems, but it isn't actually helping. So let's jump in. Most mainstream nutritional advice will say that fiber is good, that you should have some fiber with every single meal, and that high fiber diets are what makes somebody healthy. There's a little bit of controversial research out there that says that fiber actually decreases risk of heart disease, colon cancer, and all these different things. But actually, when you get down into the deep nitty-gritties of this research, it's actually found multiple times that this doesn't actually add up. And I'm going to kind of get into that. The main reason why people believe that high fiber diets are going to be helpful for your digestion is because it's going to bulk up the stool. And so if you bulk up stool, that means that it would actually help constipation. And the idea behind having a more bulky, more fibrous foods in your digestive tract is that it would also absorb water and thus help more with some types of diarrhea. But while this is partially true, it's not entirely true. And actually, we find that people who feel resolve from their constipation from eating high fiber are actually just pushing stool through the digestive tract, but they're not actually resolving the root constipation issue. And what ends up happening is you could actually be pooping regularly and still be constipated because you're not actually fully emptying. And this would be a really common thing that happens when people try to resolve constipation with high fiber. I would argue that this isn't actually getting to the root of why people have constipation. And in that vein, I'm going to take a quick pause here and go into what I believe are the 5 kind of main causes of constipation and why fiber doesn't actually even closely resolve those. So besides not enough water, that would be number 1, but number 2 is really going to be a damaged gut lining. And there are actually species of microbes that if they aren't present in the gut, they will tend to cause constipation because your gut needs a diversity of microbes in order to have healthy digestion. There also is a component of detoxification. So if your gut is overloaded with pathogens, pathogens actually exhale toxic gases that can cause the digestion process, that peristalsis that triggers the elimination of stool, to actually slow down, which can be another cause of that constipation. The 4th one would be some type of low bile production. And the 5th one would be a low fat diet. So your body is not being stimulated to produce that bile. There's low fat, so your intestinal tract is not lubricated well, those types of things. If you kind of get into it, none of those 5 options could actually be eliminated with the increase of fiber, except that you might actually see some more immediate results. And I'm not here saying that fiber is all bad. I'm definitely not gonna go that far. And everybody needs a differing level of fiber in their diet. And one person may be able to tolerate it more than another person. But I will say, when you want to talk about the root cause of constipation, fiber really doesn't address any of them. I would actually argue that a low fiber diet is essential to healing. And this kind of goes based off of Dr. Natasha's understanding of fiber, and that it is basically like sandpaper to an open wound. So if your intestinal lining is damaged in any way, which is very common, fiber will actually act like sandpaper. Some people call it a scrub brush. And so it's going to be very irritating, very inflammatory to the gut lining. And you often see people very reactive, especially if they're in the beginning of a healing journey with their gut microbiome. Fiber actually isn't what's going to support that. Okay, we got a little friend here. But just to kind of wrap up, I want to touch a little bit here on the research as to what's kind of coming out, because I think most of the research has been really one-sided when it comes to fiber and its benefits. Most people, generally speaking, believe that it's better. But what we're going to find is that that's actually old and very outdated research. The National Library of Medicine has an article up that says stopping or reducing dietary fiber intake actually reduces constipation and its associated symptoms. And that would be for the reasons I kind of just mentioned, is that actually decreasing that irritation to the gut lining is actually going to give your body space to heal. And you may notice that the symptoms actually would resolve all on themselves. Again, there was a study that talks about the therapeutic benefit of restricting fiber intake and how people actually noticed like elimination of symptoms and chronic illness from decreasing fiber, which again, we see when it comes to things like the carnivore diet, the GAPS diet. People often are resolving their long-term chronic illness by slowing down and letting the gut microbiome heal itself. I can personally attest, as someone who is thriving on a low fiber diet, that I tend to do better with low fiber, that it is completely unessential for me. And actually, I notice much more benefit when I am having low fiber, high protein, high fat diet. But again, everybody starts at different points and needs different things, especially starting right off the bat. So I want to kind of get into what to do instead. If you have been in this paradigm of believing that you need fiber to heal, especially things like constipation, what would you replace that with? And my recommendation would be to switch it to a high fat diet. And really focus on fat digestion. So it's not just going to, you may not actually be able to jump into high amounts of fat in the diet because maybe your body's not used to being able to digest that. But some things that may help with that would be working on detoxing your liver and gallbladder. Enemas and juicing are great for this. You could actually maybe meet with a practitioner to discuss if bile supplementation would be good for you, because a lot of people actually have low bile production from just like years and years of not eating correctly and eating foods that suppress bile production. And so you may actually need kind of something to carry you over. You can also choose to eat foods that stimulate bile production. So anything that's bitter, anything that's more sour, those are going to stimulate stomach acid, bile production, and digestion.
Puppy.
Yes, it's puppy. Then again, like I mentioned, you're going to slowly increase fat as tolerated, and then you're going to increase those healing foods like meat stock, which is going to be rich in collagen to heal that gut lining, and again, those probiotics, because often it's an imbalance of microbes that's actually causing the constipation in the first place, making you rely so much on fiber to get your digestion working. If you're looking to get started making meat stock, I made a great meat stock recipe video that I will have linked in the description box below. And if you are interested in my quick guide to gut health, I will also have that linked in the description box below. And if you got any value out of this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It is my passion to walk alongside people as they heal and grow. It inspires me and hopefully brings encouragement to you. Thanks for watching.